liberty and justice for all.
Recording of the roll, please.
All present.
Item C, approval of the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Tower, seconded by Commissioner Semo to approve the consent agenda as presented. Discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Milken.
Yes.
Semo.
Yes.
Power.
Yes.
Corcoran.
Yes.
Virgil.
Yes. Motion carries. Item D, approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second. Go ahead.
Motion by Commissioner Tower, seconded by Commissioner Semo to approve the agenda as presented. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carries. Item E, receive and place on file the statement of revenue and expenditures. First.
I'm going to turn that mic on, please.
Thank you. Tonight I'm reporting the financials for the month of December. Should be approximately 50% through the fiscal year as far as the expenditures and the revenues go. With the general fund, you'll see a little different format. With the request from the last meeting, we were hoping to see percentages as a departmental level basis as far as the expenditures go. With that, the report printed out each general fund revenue account and then the political budget used for that as well. That format works well. We'll continue with that in the future. If there's any changes or what you want to see, we can certainly look at that. So I'll go through. I'm not going to go through each one individually, but on the highlights, as I did last meeting, I want to go over the fund more specifically. You can do that. With the general fund, just in total, we're showing $90,000 in deficit as of December. Again, that's mainly due to timing, as well as using fund balance that we received in prior years for this year's expenditures. So the most significant reason why that's below in the negative land anyway. Street funds are almost on budget. We're starting a slow winter, so we'll start to see those expenses start to pick up. But even if December was here, we're still below that to the 50% benchmark. And then in the major street funds, you'll see we're still budgeting for that Hemlock Phase 2 as originally passed. We're doing an amendment for that to get rid of that. It's a large dollar amount of that project, so that's why you're seeing that percentage budget spend so low. But we can get rid of that. I'm going to bring that back to you at the next meeting as far as our budget.
That Hemlock Street piece, is that going to just go back into unallocated money then at that point?
It's allocated, I did the commission allocated for streets, so it'll stay in the street fund. You can make your street fund just go for something else in the street fund.
Nothing specific yet.
Correct, yeah.
And maybe to add to that, I do anticipate looking at some street projects with the City Commission at the next meeting. We are getting a handle on where we're at with our millage and then some of those additional funds that are left over. So we've talked about a couple different things, so we'll get some direction from the Commission at the next meeting.
With the library fund, again, they'll be operating as a negative growth year because of the NEMO fund is a big portion of the revenue coming in after this year. With the equipment fund, they're in the negative as of December, and again, they are directly related to our activity on our street funds. Usually by now, we've got a lot more street activity, which streets currently equipment from the equipment fund. Equipment reaps the benefits of having additional income with the whole activity. That's why we're seeing less income in that equipment fund than we normally do. We'll see that start to pick up, maybe, depending on the weather. But the equipment fund overall has a good fund balance, even though it's operating in the negative as of December. It's not a positive concern at this point. In the water utility fund, again, that's our urgent need grant. We've submitted for reimbursement for that, and we've also just recently submitted a request for a budget amendment with its line items in our different phases. We underspent in one phase, overspent in another phase, and we were granted a budget amendment to offset that difference. So that was nice, about $26,000 that we'll still be able to get from the grant. So we'll be seeing that hopefully here in the next few weeks, getting that money back into our water fund and getting that big negative back to a bit positive. And those are the major things that I wanted to report on as far as revenues and expenditures are concerned. Is there any questions on any of the reports? Okay. Any other report cash, I also report cash summary by bank. Again, in the new format. All our bank balances are healthy. Again, our water, we're still in the positive with our water fund, but we'll see that going up significantly once we get that grant reimbursement. Other than that, insignificant report.
So you're saying that our balance will go up quite a bit in our water fund once we,
Correct, the cash balance, because we did pre-fund that out of the current funds.
Okay.
And just to say a positive there, because we do have other assets in reserve accounts with our water funds, so that's why it's a positive balance. What we get approximately, what was it? $400,000, $500,000, that's for our cash that will go into our water fund.
Just no other discussion, I guess I'll make a motion to receive and place on file 1 statement of revenue and expenditures and 2 monthly cash report.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Corcoran, seconded by Commissioner Mildren, to receive and place on file 1, the statement of revenue expenditures, and 2, the monthly cash report. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carries.
I'll also make a motion to approve the monthly check register report.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Corcoran, seconded by Commissioner Semo, to approve the monthly check register report. Discussion?
Other than to say I do like the new format, it just eliminates all those little questions we continually were getting.
And thank you for doing that in such a timely manner. Roll call vote, please.
Semo?
Yes.
Tower?
Yes.
Corcoran?
Yes.
Mildren?
Yes.
Bertram?
Yes. Thank you. Item G, citizens wishing to address the commission on items on the agenda. None?
No, there's one.
Oh, there is one. Okay, sure. Please state your name and address, please. Please state your name and address.
My name is Ronald Tower. We live on 5640 Newport Street. By the Old Headquarters. First of all, I would like to thank the commission for allowing me to comment on my on your agenda. This would be the sale of the spec building located on Liberty. I know the city wants to sell, wants to see this building occupied, as most of us. Our only concern would be to make sure that the business that you do sell it to understands and has the ability to meet the zoning requirements that are set forth by the city commission. Property is adjacent. There's 2 very important details in your zoning that I do want to bring up. One is the visual screening of this property, and also noise that is emitted from the business. I believe this is a light industrial area. The properties that are adjacent to this property are residential homes that have been there for a long time. Long before the city classified this property to industrial, it used to be residential. I hope the city considers these aspects prior to their decision on selling the property.
Thank you. Any other citizens wishing to address on items on the agenda?
Our house is in own between 3 and 4 acres, right attached to that property that reminded me of doing a logging industry. I would be in that, there would be logs within 30 feet of my property. And I'm 82 years old and had my house raised here. Last year because I was planning on selling it. So, do you think the property value is going to remain the same and there was 3 years that last year? I think I can lose money. And I don't think that's the purpose.
Thank you. Any others wishing to address the commission? Item H, are there any citizens wishing to address the commission on items not on the agenda? None? Item I. At this time, we would like to honor the representatives of the Ironwood Snowmobile Olympus. Would you please come up? We have Mr. Tom Oppenin and Mr. Jim Gribble. Yes. Oops, this is the wrong one. In recognition of your outstanding community involvement in bringing the sport of ice oval racing, the Snowmobile Olympus, back to our area, and the positive economic impact and the dedication of the many, many volunteers that make it happen. And it's an immeasurable effort. We thank you very much. And, yes, and all the commission can come around.
I'd have those guys.
Squeeze in there.
Yeah. Maybe a round of applause for them.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Gotta love those.
As the clerk mentioned, this was the 6th year of that organization and that event returning to our area, and I know that the impact is millions of dollars that roll through the economy, and many, many hours of volunteer work, so thank you for all that you do. And our next recognition is, are there any family or friends here of Mr. Howard DeLong? No?
I did notify the Jibberies and they're probably watching online.
Oh, okay. Well, we were notified by family members, and the city commission, the city clerk prepared this beautiful certificate, and we are honoring Mr. Howard DeLong. On January 31, he will turn 100 years old. And Mr. DeLong was born here in Ironwood. He graduated from St. Ambrose High School and attended the Ironwood Community College, which is now Gogibic Community College. He married Marcella Jivery in 1940 and has 2 sons, Guy and Thomas, and he served in the U.S. Army during the period of World War II. After the war, having returned to Ironwood, he couldn't find any work, and so he moved his family to California, which is where I believe he currently lives, raised his family and lives. But having roots in the area, and he comes back frequently to visit friends and family, and the commission would like to honor and wish Mr. DeLong a wonderful 100th birthday.
I was supposed to all sing happy birthday, you know. He is watching online. Just kidding.
You don't want me to sing.
Moving on to old business. Item K, discuss and consider approving the extension of the Eagle Waste and Recycling contract from April 30th, 2019 to actually August 31st, 2019.
Yes, just a little background on this. A while back when we were talking with Eagle Waste about the recycling program, part of their pro forma and how they provided the cost to the city was over a 2-year period. They felt it would take 2 years to recoup their investment in providing the recycling canisters, that type of thing. The city did grant them a 2-year extension. What occurred is it was about 4 months before they could actually get the canisters delivered and out to the public. So again, during that 4-month period, nobody was charged for that service, but they're basically 4 months short in their pro forma of trying to recoup their costs with that investment. So they have asked the City Commission to consider extending their contract for additional months from April 30th, 2019, which is the current date of the end of their contract, to August 31st, 2019. So that's the request. If you award that, we'd have their service for an additional 4 months beyond what we would have right now. If you don't, we'd go out for bid. We'd have someone else maybe in place. Maybe it would be them at either a higher or lower cost. We don't know. At that point in time, we'd have to go out and bid it or decide what we wanted to do. But that's the request in front of you tonight.
I'll make a motion, we award the extension itemized in K.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, seconded by Commissioner Corcoran, to award the extension as described in item K.
Sure. Scott?
Yes.
So typically costs go up. And so this extension for 4 months could probably mean that we would be under a lower contract for that year.
Possibly, yes, possibly.
Thank you.
And just a clarification, rather than extending it to September 1, it makes more sense to have it end at the end of August. So it'll end August 31st. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Any further discussion?
I think that Eagle has done a good job, and whenever there is an issue, that they go and try to meet with the people and meet with the city staff to solve the issues. And I think that approving this would be a good practice. They've already offered this at a reduced rate as it is, so that's just my comments on this one.
Thank you.
I would prefer that we just follow the original contract. This isn't a reflection on their service or dissatisfaction with it. We've taken the stance of bidding out our garbage contract every 5 years or so, and that's worked well, and we've gotten cheaper rates because of it. It's possible the rate will go up, and I like to bid it out sooner rather than later. Eagle has indicated they want a 10-year contract in the future, and I wouldn't be in favor of that at all. I like doing it every 5 years to try and get the best deal for the residents of Ironwood. So I would just prefer to remain with the original contract for that reason.
Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Tower.
No.
Corcoran.
Yes.
Mildred.
Yes.
Semo.
Yes.
Bertrand.
Yes. Motion carries. New business, item L, discuss and consider approving amendment to the US 2 Enhancements Project, extending the completion date to July 1, 2016 between the Michigan Department of Transportation and the City of Ironwood, and authorize the city manager to sign the applicable documents.
What this is pertaining to is the city did get a loan from the Michigan Department of Transportation. It was called a SIB loan. We use that for the enhancements, essentially the street lights, burying the power lines, putting some additional sidewalk in along US 2. And essentially all those improvements are complete. We still have a few dollars in that fund, if you will, and therefore banner hangers. So we have to buy some more banner hangers for the poles. So the extension just allows us the time to finish up the project and complete purchasing the banner hangers.
Okay.
I would make the motion to approve the amendment with the Michigan Department of Transportation as described in item L.
I will second.
Motion by Commissioner Mildred, seconded by Commissioner Semo, to approve the amendment as described in item L. Discussion? All in favor? Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item M, consider approval of the rural development pay package in the amount of $51,923.24 for the City of Ironwood Phase 3 Utility Project Water portion, and authorize the mayor to sign all applicable documents.
Again, these are the standard payment process for the Phase 3 work. Some of the work under Phase 3 was done for the US 2 project. We reimbursed MDOT for that since they had hired the contractor, and also Ritzel Construction, who is doing our Phase 3. So this is for work already completed. And there is a water portion, and the other portion is the sewer portion.
I'll make a motion, we approve the pay package described in item M.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, seconded by Commissioner Corcoran, to approve the rural development pay package as described in item M. Further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mildred?
Yes.
Semo?
Yes.
Tower?
Yes.
Corcoran?
Yes.
Virgil?
Yes. Motion carries. Item N, consider approval of rural development pay package in the amount of $107,079.19 for the City of Ironwood Phase 3 Utility Project Sewer portion, and authorize the mayor to sign all applicable documents.
And same discussion.
Okay.
Of course, I forgot to ask my usual question, which is, how much do we still have left to pay out? Where are we at in that process?
And I'll look to Mike. Do you know off the top of your head?
There's about $300,000 worth of work remaining in second lift paving, etc. For Ritzel, there's probably about a few $1,000s that Ebert has to finish up next spring. Of course, we discussed the claim with the contractor from 2014 that's hanging over our heads. And there is quite a few dollars of retainage against Ritzel again. So it's been reduced some, but it'll get paid out in its entirety until they're done, Mr. Seaver.
So I'm guessing there's plenty of money left in the funding to cover these liabilities.
Yes, sir.
Is there someone?
Do we need a motion?
Yes, we do.
didn't get that far yet. I'll make a motion to approve the pay package described in item N.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, seconded by Commissioner Mildren, to approve the rural development pay package as described in item N. Further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Semo?
Yes.
Tower?
Yes.
Corcoran?
Yes.
Mildred?
Yes.
Virgil?
Yes. Motion carries. Item O, discuss and consider resolution number 016-001 for giving current and future interest on the $300,000 revolving loan fund for the Ironwood Industrial Development Corporation, and authorizing the city manager to sign applicable documents.
Thank you. For you this evening, the next two items kind of go hand in hand, so I'll talk about both of them, and then you can take action individually on the two. So to start, the first item is a resolution to forgive interest on a revolving loan fund loan to the Ironwood Industrial Development Corporation, $3,000. Back in 2003, roughly, the city of Ironwood loaned the IBC $300,000 to build and develop land in industrial park and put up a speculation building. The intent was to create jobs, bring business into the community, and spur economic development. At the time, when the city did this, this was a common practice that was going on across the country. People were putting up speculation buildings, businesses were moving in, things were flowing. Due to unforeseen circumstances throughout that time process, no one ever was able to move into the building. There was never a business that was able to be found to actually move in and start paying back on that loan. The revolving loan fund is a program that was started through the federal government and was money that was passed down from the federal government to the state and then passed out among the municipalities that qualify for the program. So the city's been operating the revolving loan fund program for a couple decades, since the 1980s. And over time, as these loans are paid out and repaid,
the money accumulates and you have more money to pay back, to pay out towards businesses. So that's where this $300,000 came from, to help build this spec building development property. So since then, they've been interested in building in the property, but with the price tag of $300,000 plus interest, the way the economy's been since 2008, the value of land, buildings, and properties has gone down. So the reality of trying to find somebody to get in there to purchase a building for $300,000 and pay off the interest that's been running on it is nearly impossible. So recently, in the last couple of years, the IDC, who owns the building in the city, we worked together to try to advertise and market the building and try to find a buyer for the property. The IDC that gave city staff direction to say, all right, we know we can't get $300,000 for this. Let's see what we can get. Find someone that can use the building, put a business in there, create jobs, and make an offer to us. City staff has been in constant contact with the state of Michigan talking about this process. What they've said is, provide an offer, provide a proposal, we'll take a look at it and evaluate it. So, lo and behold, we recently received an offer from Scandinavian Homes, a log home builder out of Wisconsin, in place to house their operations. They're growing, they purchased some new equipment for their operations, and they really needed a better facility to process their log homes in an indoor environment. Our speculation building fits their needs. One of the other aspects is the lot that is adjacent to the speculation building, lot 14, which is the next item on the agenda, is actually owned by the city. Scandinavian Homes, as part of their offer for the building, also would like to purchase that building, that vacant lot from the city, and use that for outdoor storage of the raw material. So their offer was $100,000 to purchase the building, the land the building sits on, as well as lot 14, the vacant land that the city owns, and have a payback period of 3 years. So while we got an offer, we still had to run this by the state of Michigan, because ultimately they're the ones that are going to come back and say, this money is still owed to the state based on the requirements that came with it. So we went back to the state staff and talked with them, gave them the proposal, and they actually accepted it. So what the state has actually accepted is to the building would be purchased for $100,000. Interest-free. The $200,000 principal that's still remaining would be forgiven 100%. And they would also forgive current interest and any future interest on the property, on the loan. So what this first item does for you here is a resolution. Basically, you would be forgiving the current interest and any future interest on that loan, that $300,000 loan. And basically would be accepting $100,000 payment to cover the purchase of that building. And again, that's going to be, the payment's going to take place over 3 years based on the preset schedule that's been negotiated, which the state has accepted. What this really does too is, one, we're bringing a new business in the community. They're bringing around 10 jobs currently. They anticipate to hopefully add another 10 or so in the next couple of years. We're getting out from under this loan that has been on the books since 2003. Which originally we thought we were going to have to pay back on full. The state has granted us forgiveness of that. So we're saving potentially, the state going back to the city and saying, you have to come and pay up regardless of what happens with the building at any point in time. And they've been gracious to allow us to forgive that $200,000, pay off with $100,000 per person in the building, increase economic activity in the area. So it's really a good thing for the community, because if the state came back and asked us, the city, to say, okay, we want you to pay back that money right now, well, that would have to come out of our general fund, right? That's the taxpayers' dollars. And with this plan, taxpayers aren't going to have to foot that bill. It's going to be a private company that's going to come in, pay a portion of it off, the rest will be forgiven. I do have with me here this evening Blake Estola, representative for Scandinavian Homes. If you'd like, he can come up here, kind of talk about his business, what his plans are for the property, and what the long-range plans are. and then you can ask, myself, him questions, talk about any concerns that you may have. To touch on the couple comments on zoning issues, the property is zoned industrial. The outdoor storage is what they're requesting for that lot 14 to purchase, really to be used for their material storage of their logs. From what Mr. Esselis informed us, all their operations, their manufacturing process, everything will be done indoors in the building, so no processing will be done outdoors, it's just a matter of storage. The outdoor storage does require a conditional use permit, which is approved by the City Planning Commission. So that application actually is going to the Planning Commission next week for their review. And, as long as the application meets the zoning requirements, which from staff's review it does, it's an acceptable use in the area. There are screening requirements, so in the outdoor storage there is a screening requirement. They have met the setbacks according to what's required. But those are issues, the sound issues or site issues, those are issues that the Planning Commission will be discussing next week at their meeting. So with that, I know that was a lot to take in. I guess I'd answer any questions that you might have of me first, and then if you'd like, Mr. Esselis is here to answer any questions you have or explain more about his business.
Yes. When you said the state of Michigan, you're going back and forth with them, this proposal, which department and which?
We're working with the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, or the MEDC. They're the office that oversees the revolving loan fund program. So we've been in direct contact with them. And they've been very good to work with, very flexible. We actually, when we talked to them and came forth with the proposal, we got a very quick response within a matter of days, which is, you're familiar with government in general, it doesn't always happen, so it was very reassuring, and they're willing to work with us and want to see this property succeed.
And then the $200,000 forgiveness, and then the $100,000 that's paid for this property is sent to the MEDC then?
What will actually happen is the city, a couple of years ago, used to operate and manage its own revolving loan fund locally. We've since regionalized that program, so what happens now is anytime we get payments on outstanding loans, Director Lynn actually transfers that money on a quarterly basis to our regional revolving loan fund manager, which is Northern Michigan's out in Marquette. So the money, essentially, it's going back into the pot, the regional revolving loan fund pot of money, which then can be used to loan out, for more business loans. So it doesn't directly go back to the state; it goes back into a regional fund, but essentially the state's the one that oversees the entire program.
And Northern Initiatives is like a contractor then with?
Correct. They're contracted by the state, and as well as an agreement between the city, the state, and Northern Initiatives to manage this fund.
Thank you.
And ultimately, the city is responsible for, or the IEDC for that $300,000 loan?
Correct. Ultimately, if there is a default, on any of these projects, ultimately it comes back to the city. So, we're always at risk of potentially having to pay back some of these projects if they do default. But in this case, they've given, the state has granted us, forgiveness based on these terms. So, we never knew what they were going to offer us until we actually proposed something to them. And thankfully, they accepted the proposal as it stands.
So it sounds like there's three pieces that have to happen. We have to approve these two pieces on our agenda, and then the Planning Commission has to approve the conditional use permit, and then all the hurdles will be done at that point. So once the Planning Commission, if they so choose to issue the conditional use permit, we'll be done with our part. And
again, these two items kind of stand separate. Obviously, the conditional use component goes with Scandinavia's homes, the way they want to utilize the property. But obviously, the planning commission is a separate body that approves that separate.
What happens
Once
if
the
they
planning
don't?
commission, assuming all the parts are approved tonight and the planning commission next week, Scandinavian Homes, coming April 15th, which is when they are allowed to access the property and start using it under the land contract terms, will be in there and starting operations.
And what happens if the planning commission does not approve the permit?
Well, then I guess that's a discussion that, Scandinavian Homes and the planning commission will have to have a discussion about. What I always explain to any boards and commissions that, looking, especially the planning commission, we're looking at zoning issues. If the applicant is meeting the requirements of the zoning ordinance and complying with all the regulations and what the city's asking of it, there's really no reason that they should deny it. The only reason for denial is if they're not complying with the regulations.
But nobody's encumbered in any way by us approving this at this moment. I think that's your question.
Right. The approvals tonight, by no means guarantees the approval that the planning commission will approve the conditional use permit.
And are both items contingent upon the planning commission approving that?
No.
No.
Not for your purposes tonight.
But for the sale of the properties?
No, they're looking to purchase outright, and then they'll work through the planning commission process separately from what you're acting on tonight.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Any questions for Mr. Esselman?
I wouldn't mind hearing a little overview of what the plan is for that property.
Sure.
Blake Nestala, 7020 West Highway 2. Looking for an overview?
Pretty much.
Sure. Well, basically, family-owned business on Highway 2. I don't know if you guys have seen us out there, but we've been there since about 90. And we build handcrafted homes, obviously outdoors. And it's a little bit more of an expensive process, so there's a market for less expensive houses, which gets built with more automated equipment. So I purchased some of that last summer, and have been searching for properties similar to this since then. Obviously, automated equipment brings the cost down to where more people can afford it at different price brackets, some local people maybe for hunting camps, things like that too. And the skill level is, needs a wide bracket of skill, I guess. So as far as employment, it makes things a little easier where we are right now. The exact trade that we are, it takes several years to train somebody in to where they're really efficient. And, this process would be, within weeks, you've got somebody efficient at their job. So, yeah, as far as our employment, right now we're 12 people, and we'll need all 10 more people. Assuming that the economy just continues to grow. So,
Would you be using the Ironwood facility mostly for the automated portion or the entire portion?
for the automated portion.
You'll keep it.
As far as the handcrafting like we do right now, maybe a couple small projects inside if we can, if we can work those with the schedule through the winter. Small meaning, 20 by 30 cabinets, something small like that. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, we've got some of the automated equipment now, and I'm looking at some bigger stuff for timber framing, robotics, stuff like that.
So the outdoor noise would be mostly forklifts and trucks hauling, that kind of noise.
And all construction is done inside.
Yes. Yeah, if, we work outside right now, so, being there would definitely be outside. I worked outside all day today, so. As far as inside, it's electronics. Obviously, there's street-based power out there, which we don't have at our location. And all the equipment runs off the 483 phase, so.
That's the kind of noise, as far as that goes, it's the kind of noise that you'd be dealing with. And obviously it's fully insulated already, so.
Do you have to put a fair amount of money into the building itself? Like, from what I understand, is it dirt floors in there? Is that correct?
It's a sand-based floor right now.
Sand-based, and so you have to pour a slab all over, are you would you do that?
Correct. Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a lot of improvements that'll be made. As far as the heating system, obviously. You know, the stuff that I've been running right now is anywhere just around 50,000. Obviously, the slab is substantial, around $80,000. And then all the other, you know, obviously it needs full electrical inside. Stuff is pretty much stubbed up. Needs electrical, plumbing, pretty much everything inside. It's fully insulated as it is.
How long do you think it would take you to be up and running?
I sold it home for it this morning, so April 16th. Realistically, month.
Oh, wow.
Any other questions?
Thank you, Mr. Estella.
Any further questions for me?
Michael, there was one other comment during public comment about surrounding property values. Is there a way to project any negative impact?
I guess I can't answer that. I guess I'd look to our assessor, but, you know, the properties, you know, the current property in the other part is zone industrial. It's been zone industrial. Nothing's really changed, so I guess I'm not sure how, you know, bringing business in would change, you know, surrounding property values.
Okay.
That's a big question for the assessor.
Thank you.
I don't know. What is the size of the building? Just
It's 12,800 square feet. So it's probably 80 by 120, somewhere in there. Something like that.
I will make a motion, we approve the resolution as described in item O.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, seconded by Commissioner Corcoran to approve the resolution as described in item O. Further discussion.
I believe I have a personal conflict of interest, so I will abstain from voting.
Do we have to,
Could I have a motion
yes,
to allow him
you're
to
right.
abstain,
Yes,
please?
thank you.
I'll make a motion allowing Commissioner Tower to abstain.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, seconded by Commissioner Corcoran to allow Commissioner Tower to abstain from voting. All in favor? Is it going to be okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Opposed? Alrighty. And going back to the original motion, roll call vote, please.
Corcoran?
Yes.
Mildred?
yes.
Semo?
Yes.
Burchell?
Yes.
And, go ahead, you have to announce it first. I was going to make the motion right away for item P, but you have to do your part first, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. The motion carries. Moving on to item P, which is just the second piece of this. Go ahead, Sam.
I'll make a motion, we approve the sale of Lot 14 as described in item P.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, seconded by Commissioner Corcoran to approve the sale of Lot 14 as described in item P. Discussion?
I would make the same request.
I'll make a motion to approve Commissioner Tower's request for a conflict of interest abstention.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, seconded by Commissioner Corcoran to approve Commissioner Tower's request to abstain from voting. All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Back to the motion on item P. Further discussion? A roll call vote, please.
Mildred?
Yes.
Semo?
Yes.
Corcoran?
Yes.
Burchell?
Yes. And in the future, after, since I'm new to being running meetings. I believe that if you request to abstain, you should do that at the beginning before discussion on the topic is made. And so you shouldn't be part of the discussion at all. But no worries.
I've never done so before.
It's a weird one.
Yeah, it
I
is.
had to do it once. It's odd.
Moving on to item Q, discuss and consider adopting resolution number 016-002 opposing Public Act 269, Senate Bill 571.
At our last meeting, I had asked to have this on our agenda item, and I'll discuss a brief history. Senate Bill 571 was initially a non-controversial package, and then at the last minute, new language was added, 50-some pages without much notice. And on December 17 at 10:30, it was passed. And even many legislators themselves about Senate Bill 570 said they did not fully read or know what was in the amended language, so it did pass without much understanding. There's a lot of concerns about the package, about the bill. Some of them are that it appears to be like a gag order. It prohibits certain communication with the commission or cities, schools, certain communication with citizens. It's almost like it's a ban of freedom of speech. It would prohibit communication that refers to a local ballot question 60 days prior before we have that ballot. I guess what I would say that you could put the ballot out there, but you wouldn't be able to interpret some of the language. So when we had for example, like the road funding package, there was a lot of, what if this happens, then this happens. And I think that's kind of the service of the commission, to be able to reach out to citizens and ask those or answer those kinds of questions. So this kind of makes it a little gray. So I'm asking that we support this resolution and the language in it to promote the needed changes. And even the governor had noted he's calling on the legislature to enact new legislation to address some of the concerns. The intent of the language to prohibit kind of advertisement-style mass communication to sway the public one way or another, and that's not what this is about. Right now, the Senate Majority Leader and the Speaker of the House have agreed to work together to follow up on legislation clarifying the provision of Section 57 of the Act in time for March elections. Right now, we have House Bill 5219 in motion, trying to clarify some of the communication concerns that are associated with this. So pretty much just the resolution shows our support that it really needs to be changed, because it's not clear on how it impacts how we can communicate to our citizens. Even some of the language looks like if we are found in violation of this communication, that we'd be at risk of a state fine of up to $20,000, and for an individual fine of up to $1,000 or a year in jail, which is something I don't want to experience. So pretty much just the resolution is just saying this needs to be changed, and it's just voicing our opinion on that.
And the MML, their position is opposing this.
Yes, they very much do not like the section that was added at the last minute, so just working on changing that.
I would make the motion adopting the resolution to oppose Public Act 269, Senate Bill 571.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Mildren, seconded by Commissioner Corcoran, to adopt the resolution number 016-002 opposing Public Act 269, Senate Bill 571. Discussion? I would just like it just noted that, as Commissioner Corcoran mentioned, that House Bill 5219 is already in process, and that the governor in his letter, when he approved it, said that he would encourage legislature to pass follow-up legislation to clarify certain provisions of this new law, which is in process already. So it seems like it's already being acted upon. And so the resolution calls for immediate repeal of the new language?
Yes.
Okay. It's already been enacted, so you're just acting for immediate repeal of the new language. Okay. Roll call?
Seymour?
Yes.
Tower?
Yes.
Corcoran?
Yes.
Mildred?
Yes.
Virgil?
No. Motion carries. Item R, Discuss and consider approving pay estimate number 4 to Northwoods Paving Company in the amount of $53,937.54 for the 2015 asphalt paving program.
This is last year's mill and overlay project. It's payment for work that was completed last fall, and it gets us up to everything that's been done to date. It's all of it that's been completed. So Paul and I are going to sit down and look at the balance that we have funds available, and come back at the next meeting with what we see or project as the streets that can be paved this summer. And you had mentioned the additional dollars left from Hemlock Street. We're going to be making some recommendations on that too, and having a discussion on that next week too. So we can start packaging together what streets will be pulverized or milled and paved this coming summer.
Make a motion to approve the pay estimate number 4. Why is it called an estimate? Isn't it a pay package?
You can use the terms interchangeably, but yes.
Estimate sounds like we're not sure.
We can call it pay package if you'd like.
I would like to do that.
That's clear.
I'll make a motion to approve the pay package number 4 as itemized in our.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, seconded by Commissioner Tower, to approve the pay package number 4 as described in item R. Discussion?
That's a good point on the package, as opposed to the estimate. Thank you.
Roll call vote, please.
Tower.
Yes.
Corcoran.
Yes.
Milligan.
Yes.
Semo.
Yes.
Virgil.
Yes. And item S, Mayor's appointment to the Board of Review. I would like to nominate Jeff Musselman to the Board of Review.
I'll make a motion we approve the mayor's appointment to the Board of Review.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, seconded by Commissioner Corcoran to approve the mayor's appointment to the Board of Review. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Opposed? Item T, Manager's Report.
Just a few items to cover. As you looked as you came in the building, you probably saw a couple pieces of equipment outside, a big snow blower and a truck with a plow on it. Those were 2 pieces of equipment the City Commission had approved acquiring here, and they are in use right now. So it's nice to have them in the fleet. Bob, how is everything going with the equipment?
We've used the snow blower 3 times now, and you can see because of the snow per minute, per hour, whichever you say, it's much better and faster, and no breakdown all the time. And the new truck will be something that will help out with future sidewalks, parking lots, and anything else like that. So there's really gratifying to the guys over there to tell you that, my God, it's a place that jump into nice equipment. That's new. It's really great.
It makes our ability to provide service much more efficient, and again, with the new snow blower, I think they can, it operates much quicker than the other ones and less downtime. So just want to thank the Commission for approving the purchase of that type of equipment. It's very a good asset to have for the community. A few other things to update you on. Michael will be bringing this forward to you here in the next meeting or two, but they did go out for RFPs, request for proposals, for the branding process, a consultant to help with that. So they did review consultants, and they're going to be making a recommendation here on that project here in the not too distant future. So I think that's some interesting things, some real creative ideas that were presented. I think you'll be interested in hearing some of those as they come before you here. Staff is also working on the hardest hit blight grant. It's the demolition of the blighted houses that we've been working on. 16 have been taken down to date. The City Commission did approve 6 more to come down. The environmental work has been done on those additional 6. So Snow Country Contracting will be working over the next few weeks to take those down. We don't have an exact time frame when the demolition will occur, but they're ready for demolition. And then staff again is working on 5 more houses in addition to those that are on the list. And they've been through the environmental remediation process, basically identifying what needs to be done to them. And then they're going to be going out for bids for the removal of those houses over the next month or so. And those bids will be coming back to the City Commission. And that will complete the entire grant project of 27 blighted homes coming down this year. We also have a contractor working on the rehabilitation of well number 201 out in our well field. The commission approved that here a meeting or two ago. The contractor is on site out there. They pulled the pump. They're doing the work on that well rehab. Again, a proactive approach to keeping our well field in good shape. And that kind of dovetails in with, you're hearing all the issues down in Flint of, water quality and the problems they're having down there. And again, these proactive improvements to our well field, projects such as that. Again, our water system is in very good shape, and it is tested routinely. Bob, you want to just give maybe a highlight on what kind of testing we do and the reports that we send to the DEQ?
Right now, I'm working on our 2015 annual drinking water report. Maybe we'll get a copy, we'll have it on our website. We go to Country Sun. And our pump station guys take back T samples every week. But there's a schedule of other things. Lead and copper, we used to take 40 samples every 3 months. And our levels are so low, I believe we take 20 samples every 3 years. In the report, we test copper, we test cyanide, fluorocoliform, fluoride, alloacetic acids, leads, nitrates, nitrates, sodiums, and fluorocoliform. Every 9 years, I believe that's a schedule. We took 23 different synthetic, organic, chemical, compound testings, and we had 5 radiological samples that were all. That's something like oils or gases or fertilizers or whatever. We tested negative on 28 tests that we did this past summer. As part of our well protection plan, we don't have any history in the well fields. Like Scott said, with all the improvements we made, the little lines, you can get, it seems like more violations, and we have a bigger pipe with more pressure water and everything. We have a routine that we do every year. All the communities do, we send it to a state lab and get some results of that.
So the all of those tests are taken, and things are good. But on the taste test, the taste to me has improved, and I've heard a lot of people say that it's improved in the last 4 or 5 years. Is that?
Yeah, I've done the Dr. Mahoney show with the old rusted pipe, and with the fresh water going in the water pipe, you don't have those, the rust inside of it. We've had divers in the Zion tanker, and we've cleaned that, and we cleaned our clear well, and funny, after we cleaned those, we had less of a chlorine demand, and right away for like the first month, more chlorine, well, it was less of a chlorine demand, and we had bigger chlorine levels. But yes, more fresher water, in the system. With the temporary service lines that's taken off because of the water construction the last 4 years, we're going to be able to flush the hydrants twice a year now instead of doing it at the end of a project if we have time. I like to put flush hydrants every 6 months, and then you have more fresh water in the system.
Well, thank you, Bob. Just want to give everybody an update on our system, because that is a point of interest with a lot of people nowadays. 2 other things just to touch base on. We did receive bids last week for the Depot Park Playground project and also the Curry Park electric upgrades. So Michael's office is working through that with the DNR trust fund people and looking to move those projects forward for construction this summer. We are also setting up a workshop again with the City Commission at the next meeting. It seems to be a good time to have the workshop, so we do appreciate that. And we're going to be redoing the audit. So the auditors have been through. They've finished are finishing up the city audit, and they'll be ready to present that at the February 8th meeting prior to the City Commission meeting. And last on my list is just a reminder, we are going to be going through contract negotiations this year with our ASME and public safety unions, and those will start here in the next month or so, and we usually have 2 commissioners that have been participating with that, so I'll be sending out an email to you if anybody is interested in being part of that process. We do appreciate that, and like I say, it'll be starting up in the next month or so. We'll keep you informed of that as it moves along.
Thank you. Item U, other matters. And item V, adjournment. May I have a motion?
Make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Semo, adjourned at 6:30. We're adjourned. Need a second?
I did, yes.
Was Semo no adjourned?
Don't have to vote.
Oh.
From what I've been told. It's a gray
I know
area.
it's high.